Welcome to Main and Center. This segment of Main and Center being brought to you by the Crossroads House right here in Genesee County. And it is my pleasure to welcome into the studio today Diane Sia. You've got a guest that is in today that is going to give us a whole new perspective on the Crossroads House, not just as a volunteer there, but also having her mom as a resident there. Can you introduce the nice lady that you brought in with you today?
Well, I'd like to ask anybody out there have Mrs. Swinarski as their kindergarten teacher? I've brought Jacquie Swinarski with me as a guest today. She's been a volunteer for many years in a variety of roles at Crossroads House, and we are so blessed that after she retired, she found her passion at Crossroads. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jacquie Swinarski.
Welcome, Mrs. Swinarski, or Jacquie Swinarski. Should I call you Mrs.?
No, Jackie's fine.
Jackie's fine. All right, very good. I want to learn a little bit about you, Jacquie. Welcome, first of all, to WBTA, and you're interacting here for the Crossroads House today. Diane always brings in such great guests. Jacquie, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Well, I grew up in Kenmore, New York, attended Kenmore schools, graduated from Kenmore West Senior High School, went on to the University of Buffalo, did 3 years there, got married, had children, and then after my children were in school, I went to Geneseo and graduated from there in early childhood. Early
childhood, became a teacher, settling here in Batavia and teaching. Whereabouts, what school were you at?
Mostly I was at Robert Morris, but I did teach for a very short period of time at John Kennedy and for a couple of years at Jackson School.
So do you often run into your students or former students around the area?
I do. The thing is, especially young men say to me, "Do you remember who I am?" And I say, no one had a beard and a mustache in kindergarten.
How true is that? Oh, that's awesome. Well, Jacquie Swinarski, we thank you. I thank you being in the education system myself for the countless years that you contributed to the minds, the growth of the community, and you were able to see the tangible results of those kids and growing up in the community and know that you had a major effect. That's great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sure you don't hear that often enough, but I want you to give us a little advice. As a parent and a future parent now of twins, you have to set up you've had to deal with a lot of children, K through 12, being an instructor. Can you give parents a little advice on helping children succeed and getting a head start before they hit the brick wall of life?
Sure. I found that the most important thing for any person, any child, is parents read to their children. If you want to prepare for your child, you don't have to do anything else. Read to your child. They'll begin to love literature. They'll feel warm and cozy with you. They'll associate literature and reading and storytelling with a warm, fuzzy time. And really, that's pretty much all you have to do to get children ready for school and ready for life.
Read.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I used to read to my son regularly. In fact, I still have some of the books. And after we moved, he's like, "You can get rid of those." And I said, no, I don't throw any books out. So
good for you.
I appreciate that very much, and I share them with the girls as well. Jacquie Swinarski, you have a relationship with the Crossroads House, not only as a volunteer, and we'll get into that, but you first became involved with the Crossroads House because of your mother. Is that correct?
That's correct. As growing up in Kenmore, my mom lived all the time of her life in Kenmore. We didn't know about Crossroads House until we moved to Batavia, and I had a friend in Robert Morris School whose mom passed there. Mm-hmm. And when Mom was sick, at first I took care of her at home, and then it got to the point where I couldn't take care of her anymore. She kept falling, and I couldn't pick her up.
Right.
So we put her in Hospice House, which is a wonderful place near Walden Galleria in Buffalo, but they have many, many residents there, and she got really lonely because every 15 minutes they'd come in and they'd say hello to her and check her, but there really wasn't anyone to talk to.
Right.
My sister and I both had full-time jobs, and so we could be there in the evening, but not during the day.
Right.
So then we heard about Crossroads House, and my sister was kind of hesitant. She didn't know anything about it. So we talked to Kathy Penapento.
Oh, you went right to the top.
We went right to the top.
Nice.
And by the time we walked out, we had my mother there within a week, and she absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
People were in there. They brought dogs in. They played guitar for her. They read to her. They had ministers come in and just spend time with her. Hospice was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Mom could go into the kitchen. We used to go and sit in the dining room with the resident care people, and she just felt so good. They told me at first that she'd probably be there longer than the 3.5 months that you could stay. But Mom was just let go. She just enjoyed herself the whole time she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she only lasted 7 days. We were all
Wow.
surprised. But she was peaceful. She was happy. It was a whole different experience for all of us.
That's, Jacquie, you're so thorough in that discussion. I was, curiosity, and a lot of our listeners are like, well, geez, how long did that person last, or when did they go? And they're not concerned about the illness that put them in there more than what was the experience when they did get in there. And it was joy, obviously. She felt relaxed and didn't have to worry about anything anymore.
No. And what was really nice is we could enjoy our mother. When I was home, I could teach her to read,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't a nurse. I didn't know how to take care of her. And the hospice people in Erie County were wonderful. They took over everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when they'd leave, I was petrified. If she had a problem, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
So, and I was constantly calling hospice. So when we went to Crossroads House, we no longer had to deal with that.
They had people, volunteers there ready and willing, and they had, hospital staff ready and willing and that come in and monitor all that. And it gives you peace of mind to just spend with your mom.
We could just be ourselves
Right.
and enjoy her, and she enjoyed every minute. Carol Grasso came in and did her hair.
Oh, I know Carol.
Yeah, it was adorable. In fact, my mom never had bangs, but Carol gave her bangs. She kind of looked like Carol when she was done. But my mom loved it. We loved it. Carol was great. Every single person was there.
Mm-hmm.
The last night was interesting.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I heard Diane mentioned earlier on before we got started. Ask her about her mom's last night. Tell me a little bit about that, please. Tell me all about it.
Well, my sister was called away. She had to pick up my niece, unfortunately, in another city, and they wouldn't keep my niece. So my sister left,
Mm-hmm.
and was really sad about it. And my mom it was a Friday night, and I was home alone with my mom. And then all of a sudden, her hospice aide from Erie County came in to visit her. So she loved her. It was funny. My mom was 89 years old, and her aide had tattoos and had piercings, and just not at all like who I'd think would be my mother's friend.
Right.
But she was my mother's best friend. My mom used to take her out when she felt well, and they go to lunch and they go shopping and things. So she came all the way from Buffalo, and she was there with me. And all of a sudden, the door opened up, and there was Diana Robley and Ellie Backus and Sophie Penapent. And they spent the whole evening, and Carol Grasso came in after they'd had a fish fry, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Carol stood on one side of my mother and held her hand, and the aide stood on the other side of my mother, and Mom was kind of in and out of it. And she would open her eyes and smile, and all of a sudden Carol said, "Who do you love better? Do you like me, or do you like your?" And I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Her
She was
aide,
a lovely girl.
right.
Her aide. And Mom would open her eyes, and she'd smile and laugh, and everybody laughed, and we told jokes, and we had a wonderful night. And Mom just smiled all night long and laughed. And where could you go? What hospital, what service would you ever go to that would be a family like that? They were just fabulous people. And Mom was only there 1 week.
But what a week.
1 week.
What a week to enjoy.
Yeah.
We're talking to Jacquie Swinarski, and you are a volunteer at the Crossroads House. Is that what inspired you? You're like, you know what? I've got to give back. I want to get involved.
Well, my sister and I just couldn't do enough for Crossroads House. And they had this yearly garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
And Diana ran it at the time. And I said, if you wait until I go through all my mother's things, we'll give you everything that we don't take.
Right.
So they ended up coming. There was 9 adults and 5 trucks, and Carol Grasso drove the moving van out to Kenmore.
Wow.
And we took everything from a 1,600 square foot house, the attic, 2 floors, the basement, and a 1.5 car garage, filled everything, brought it in, and doubled the garage sale. And that's when the garage sales started to take off.
Wow.
And that's what I'm mostly involved in, is
you
the
like
garage sale.
handling the garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
Well, terrific. Jacquie Swinarski, It has been a pleasure. Any lasting message you want to leave to the listeners regarding maybe getting involved with the Crossroads House? I always tell them to go to the website, and I'm going to tell Diane, because she's still here, with my car that I just got back, I have these stickers, Crossroads House. They're going on the boot of my car. They're going to be going on there. Because at this point, I don't care about the value of my car anymore. They're going on. I have a message to get out there. And now I want you, Jacquie Swinarski, to get your message out to everybody that's listening about the Crossroads House, or your own personal message to let people know about.
Well, my own personal message does involve Crossroads House. If you're sad, if you're not sure where your family is or your friends are, and you just need something, please volunteer. You become so busy that you don't know what to do with yourself. You get friends. We have luncheons while we do the garage sale. We do all kinds of things. And making other people happy is what makes you happy.
Making people happy and making yourself happy is what can make other people happy, and yourself. That is vital. The Crossroads House, a wonderful organization, nonprofit. So they are always looking for you to volunteer your time, or donations are always welcome. And it doesn't have to necessarily be money. We know how many people contribute to their fundraisers, but there's a wish list that is available on their website of all sorts of different things, from toiletry items, paper towel, to soap and food items, all sorts of different things, toothpaste, things that we take for granted, they need. So please do not hesitate to go to their website. And we want to thank Diane Sia for coming by today, and Jacquie Swinarski. Thank you for sharing your story. This segment of Main and Center has been brought to you today by the Crossroads House.